Welcome back, welcome back. This is Wisconsin Shoe Guy. Today we're going to look at a pair of shoes in shell Cordovan. And this is a very interesting pair of shell Cordovan shoes because I don't have a lot of shell Cordovan shoes that have a Norvegese stitch on it. And let's see if that gets into focus. There we go. This is a very, very delicate type of sewing, and I have one pair from Enzo Bonifay, and then I have these. These are from Blazing Wonder. And then the other thing that I don't have is this stitch here. I have some split toes, but the split toes on shell Cordovan is always raised because this skin stitch is very, very difficult to do in shell Cordovan. And I had a hard time, honestly, finding a maker who was willing to do it. And Blazing Wonders, decided to rise to the occasion, which is fantastic. I'm super happy with them. I'm super happy with the shoes. They provided an insole because they weren't quite sure on the fit, and the insole is, like a handcrafted insole, which is great, and they really did a nice job with it. Now, the shoes themselves are pretty darn nice. Price-wise, normally their shoes run a little bit more than $500, but because this is shell Cordovan, they were around $1,100. This is shell Cordovan from Shinki Haiku out of Japan, and I actually asked for it. They normally work with Horween, but they were able to find me some Shinki, and they only offered it in dark brown and light brown. So this is the light brown version, and I love it. It's just a great example of shell Cordovan. And take a look at first of all, look at that sole. That's pretty darn fantastic. They have a really nice fiddleback on the waist here. These waists is really, really slightly beveled. They do touch it by hand, but this is 180 degrees, but here this is stitched. You can actually see the stitching in the waist, which is, not uncommon, but it's also not like a blind welt or something that you would find on a super high-end shoe. They do have the heels are pitched, and actually I would call these tapered. There's no seam on the back, which is great. They do a nice job clicking. Overall, they just do a really nice job with the shoe. The inside is a nice veg tan leather on the lining, and as I said before, the fit is really, really nice. Now, this color is hard to maintain because light shell Cordovan can darken pretty easily just from the sun, and which usually lightens shell, but light colors can get a lot of color variation in them. And I have to be really careful with product as well because it can also darken the shell. So you gotta be cautious in what you use. Now, of course, shell Cordovan's pretty indestructible, so you don't have to worry a lot about it. And I just use my light tan pure polish on this, and then every now and then, like every 3 or 4 times that I do it, I'll use like a Saphir Cordovan cream. But usually I don't need to do anything, just a nice brushing, and they look great like they do now. The stitching on the top is contrast. Helen over at Blazing Wonders asked me what I wanted and gave me like a whole sheet of options, and I got to pick out what I wanted, the colors, the fledging, the welt, all of it, and I left it in her hands, and they really came through. And I liked it so much that I bought another pair of shoes from them, and it's rumored, it's probably more than a rumor, that they also do the shoes in that factory for October 10th and for Yosol, among other brands. And, just everything that I have has been really, really phenomenal. The quality, the communication, the craftsmanship, just really very, very fine. So as I think about different shoemakers where I feel like they're producing a really good, solid, hand-welted shoe that has a lot of flexibility for what I want, has good quality materials available, and they know what to do with them. This is a brand that comes to mind. Now, this is a 1K shoe, but it's a 1K shoe because of the leather. If I look at this as a, $500-$600 shoe, it's very, very good quality. If I look at this compared to like $1,300-$1,400 shoes, Certainly doesn't have everything that the higher end has, but they are very nice. And really, for what you pay for, I feel like they're providing a tremendous value. So they do hand last the shoes. Not a lot of asymmetry on them, but some. You can see that in how low the side is compared to the other side. And it's just a little bit. I mean, it's not tremendous. You can feel it. So I know, I mean, you can tell that there's some, but that's just a few millimeters, you know, where it's a few centimeters on other shoes. So big difference there. So again, as I said before, not super high end, but definitely a very solid mid-range shoe. So now other things that we look for during these reviews, we really like to talk about fit. And, you know, they asked me a lot of questions about fit. They wanted to understand what I was looking for and how other shoes fit. And then, as I said, they provided the insoles in order to really help me kind of nail it, which worked perfectly. And then, you know, in terms of wear, you know, how do the soles wear? How does the leather wear? The leather seems to be doing fine. The soles, as you can see, are wearing. But what's awesome about this, and it was not something I expected, they're wearing white, which I didn't expect. I expected them to wear to a darker brown and lose the white. So really happy with the way that turned out as well. So that's it. Just a short shoe review on these Blazing Wonders. Super happy with them. Definitely worth the price that I paid. So thanks again. And this is Wisconsin Shoe Guy. I'm out.